Welcome, everybody, to the Bitcoin Street Journal Market Update. I'm Autumn.
And I'm Darren. We're here to bring you the most Bitcoin maxi, no BS, straight fire analysis of everything happening in the only cryptocurrency that actually matters.
That's right. No sugarcoating, no altcoin apologetics, just pure orange pill energy. For the people, by the people. We're cutting through the noise and giving you what you need to know about Bitcoin's unstoppable march to global dominance.
Exactly. From institutional FOMO to El Salvador basically giving the IMF the middle finger. We've got you covered. And folks, what we're seeing right now is nothing short of revolutionary.
Revolutionary is right, but hey, before we dive into this absolute carnage of good news, a quick reminder. If you're vibing with what we're doing here, smash that like button, share this with your Bitcoin curious friends, and consider zapping us some sats on Nostr.
Yes, don't forget to visit thebitcoinstreetjournal.com and click the login button at the top of any page to set up your free Nostr profile. Nostr is the future, folks. Decentralized social media built on Bitcoin rails.
Exactly. It really helps us keep doing these shows and spread the orange pill love. Plus, you can zap us directly with lightning sats. Instant, cheap, and censorship resistant.
All right, let's get this rocket ship launched.
Okay, Darren, let's kick things off with the crown jewel, shall we? What's our beautiful, scarce digital gold trading at right now?
Oh man, Autumn, buckle up. As of right this moment, Bitcoin is sitting pretty at $112,594.
$112,594. Not too shabby for digital rat poison, eh, Jamie Dimon? And remember, folks, we're just coming off Bitcoin's latest all-time high of $124,457 that we hit on August 14th.
That's right. Just over a week ago, Bitcoin was literally making history, beating Alphabet's entire market cap. The market cap is sitting at a gorgeous $2.24 trillion, representing about 57.5% Bitcoin dominance.
57.5% dominance, as it should be. While all the altcoins are busy playing with their little smart contracts and meme coin casino games, Bitcoin is out here being actual money.
Exactly. It's down about 1% in the past 24 hours, but let's be real, that's just healthy consolidation after the absolute moonshot we've been on.
Right. And you know what's driving this? It's not retail FOMO this time, Darren. It's the big boys, the institutions, finally figuring out what we've known all along.
What's that on?
That Bitcoin isn't just an investment. It's the future of money. Speaking of which, did you see BlackRock's latest numbers?
Oh my God, yes. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, now holds over $51 billion in Bitcoin. $51 billion!
That's too risky not to own Bitcoin money right there. Larry Fink went from calling Bitcoin an index of money laundering to building a $51 billion Bitcoin war chest.
And it's not just BlackRock. Total Bitcoin ETF inflows hit $14.8 billion in 2025 alone. These aren't retail investors throwing lunch money at Robinhood, folks. These are pension funds, endowments, and sovereign wealth funds.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. Over 200 institutional investors have entered the market since July. The smart money is finally getting it.
Autumn, let's talk about what's really happening here. This isn't just another bull run. This is a fundamental shift in how money works.
Totally. So get this. BlackRock's Robbie Mitchnick was at Token 2049, basically saying it might be too risky not to own Bitcoin now. This is the same BlackRock that manages $10 trillion in assets.
Right, and they're not alone. We've got over 50 publicly traded companies now holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy is sitting on $77.2 billion in Bitcoin. That's more than most countries' GDP.
Speaking of Saylor, did you catch his latest meeting with President Bukele in El Salvador? They were talking about accelerating Bitcoin adoption worldwide.
Oh yeah, and here's what's crazy. El Salvador just launched the world's first Bitcoin-only investment banks. They passed this investment banking law on August 7th that lets banks operate entirely in Bitcoin.
Wait, what? Bitcoin-only banks? That's actually insane. Tell me more.
So these banks need $50 million in capital to get started, and they can only serve sophisticated investors, basically accredited investors. But get this, they can hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets, offer Bitcoin loans, even issue tokenized assets backed by Bitcoin.
So while the IMF is over there whining about El Salvador buying Bitcoin, Bukele is literally building the financial infrastructure of the future.
Exactly. And speaking of the IMF, you know what Bukele said when they tried to stop him from buying more Bitcoin? Proof of work beats proof of whining.
I love that guy. He bought more Bitcoin. Anyway, El Salvador now holds over 6,200 Bitcoin, worth about $740 million.
And they're mining it with geothermal energy, clean, renewable, volcanic Bitcoin. You literally cannot make this stuff up.
It's like, while other countries are printing money and debasing their currencies, El Salvador is stacking the hardest money ever created using the Earth's core. That's some next-level thinking right there.
Autumn, let's talk about these ETFs because the numbers are just mind-blowing.
Oh man, where do we even start? Bitcoin ETFs are basically eating the entire traditional finance system from the inside out.
So check this out. ETFs now account for 85% of Bitcoin's price volatility. Not retail traders on Twitter, not whales moving coins around. ETFs.
That's incredible. And here's the thing that's driving me crazy. People are celebrating this institutional adoption, but then they're buying Bitcoin through these ETFs instead of just, buying actual Bitcoin.
Right. It's like, congratulations, you own an IOU for Bitcoin that some corporation is custodying for you. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin, folks.
Exactly. But here's what's wild. Even with all this ETF action, these institutions are absorbing Bitcoin supply faster than miners can create it. One day in July, ETFs bought $1.18 billion worth of Bitcoin in a single session.
And remember, there are only 3,150 Bitcoin mined per day right now. But ETFs are buying way more than that. Basic supply and demand, people.
It's like watching a slow-motion supply squeeze in real time. Plus, we're at 19.9 million Bitcoin mined out of the 21 million total. We're literally running out of Bitcoin to sell.
And the best part? All these traditional finance bros who called Bitcoin a scam are now fighting each other to launch ETFs. Fidelity, ARK Invest, Van Eck, everyone wants a piece.
Remember when they said Bitcoin was too volatile for institutional portfolios? Now they're saying it's too risky not to have Bitcoin exposure. The narrative flip is complete.
But Autumn, here's what's really cooking my brain. Some analysts are saying this breaks the traditional 4-year cycle because institutions don't panic sell like retail does.
Oh, that's a great point. These aren't weak hands holding Bitcoin and Coinbase accounts, getting scared by every Elon Musk tweet. These are pension funds with 30-year time horizons.
Exactly. They're not selling because Bitcoin dropped 5% on a Tuesday. They're hodling because they understand the fundamentals.
All right, Darren, before we get too deep into the Bitcoin euphoria, let's take a quick peek at what the altcoin casino is up to these days.
Oh boy, here we go. So while Bitcoin is busy becoming the world's reserve asset, Ethereum is still trying to figure out how proof of stake works without breaking everything, huh?
Right. Trust us, we totally fixed the energy thing by making it completely centralized. Great job, guys.
And don't get me started on Solana.
Sure, it's fast and cheap, but it also has this adorable habit of just stopping for hours at a time. Very reliable for a global computer.
Oh, and all these DeFi protocols are still pretending they're decentralized while having admin keys that can rug pull the entire protocol.
Speaking of rug pulls, how about all these meme coins? People are literally gambling their life savings on pictures of dogs and frogs.
It's like watching people trade Pokemon cards while Rome is burning. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is over here solving the fundamental problem of money itself.
Exactly. These altcoins are basically just venture capital experiments with tokens. They can fork the code, change the rules, print more tokens. They're just fiat money with extra steps.
And the best part, every time Bitcoin pumps, all the altcoin maxis come out like, this is actually good for insert shitcoin here. No, Karen. Bitcoin pumping means people are realizing they don't need your centralized casino chips.
You know what, though? I'm actually grateful for altcoins.
Wait, what? Did you just get hacked?
Now, hear me out. They're like a constant reminder of why Bitcoin is special. Every altcoin failure just proves Bitcoin's superiority.
Oh, that's actually brilliant. They're like the control group in the Great Monetary Experiment.
All right, Autumn, let's circle back to El Salvador, because what they're doing is absolutely revolutionary.
Yes, so while everyone was focused on the legal tender stuff, they've been quietly building the infrastructure for a Bitcoin-native financial system.
Right. So this new investment banking law isn't just about buying Bitcoin. It's about creating entirely new types of financial institutions that operate in Bitcoin.
And the requirements are serious. $50 million minimum capital, $250,000 liquidity threshold. These aren't some fly-by-night crypto exchanges.
Plus, they're offering zero capital gains tax on Bitcoin, streamlined licensing for foreign investment. They're literally trying to become the Switzerland of Bitcoin.
And here's what's genius about it. They're focusing on sophisticated investors first. They're not trying to orange pill grandma right away. They're building institutional infrastructure.
Exactly. And while the IMF is trying to bully them into selling their Bitcoin, they're just buying more. Bukele literally bought more Bitcoin and then tweeted, "Proof of work beats proof of whining."
I mean, the absolute Chad energy from this guy. The IMF is like, you can't do that. And he's like, watch me.
And check this out. They're partnering with other countries now. Bolivia, Pakistan. They're creating a whole coalition of Bitcoin.
It's like watching the beginning of a monetary revolution in real time. El Salvador is basically showing the world what a Bitcoin standard looks like.
And the best part? Their Bitcoin reserves are up like 300% since they started buying. They're literally making money while building the future of finance.
Meanwhile, countries that are still printing fiat money are watching their currencies become toilet paper. You love to see.
Autumn, let's talk about what's happening at the protocol level, because the fundamentals are just incredible right now.
Oh, yes. So hashrate just hit another all-time high. And get this, U.S. Bitcoin miners now control a record share of the global hashrate.
That's huge for decentralization. We've got American companies using renewable energy to secure the most important network in human history.
Right? And speaking of energy, did you see that France is considering using Bitcoin mining to deal with their nuclear energy surplus?
Wait, what? France? The country that gave us baguettes and weird cheese?
The very same. They're realizing they can use excess nuclear energy for Bitcoin mining instead of just wasting it. It's like turning energy waste into digital gold.
That's actually genius. Instead of flaring gas or wasting renewable energy, you just mine Bitcoin. It's like a battery that pays you.
Exactly. And this is happening all over the world. Texas is using stranded renewable energy. El Salvador is using geothermal. And now France wants to use nuclear.
It's almost like Bitcoin mining incentivizes the most efficient energy use possible. Who could have predicted that?
Oh wait, we did.
Right. While politicians are arguing about carbon credits and Green New Deals, Bitcoin is just quietly creating the most efficient energy infrastructure in human history.
And here's what's crazy. Every joule of energy spent mining Bitcoin makes the network more secure. It's like turning electricity into digital fortress walls.
Exactly. The more energy we put into Bitcoin, the more impossible it becomes to attack. It's the first monetary system that gets stronger the more people use it. Darren, let's talk politics for a second, because the regulatory landscape is shifting fast.
Oh, yeah. So remember when Gary Gensler was calling everything a security and trying to kill crypto? Well, apparently, someone explained Bitcoin to him because the ETFs got approved.
Right. It's like they finally realized that fighting Bitcoin is like fighting gravity. You're just going to lose and look stupid doing it.
And speaking of politics, did you see what Trump's been saying about Bitcoin lately? He went from Bitcoin is a scam to we need to dominate crypto or China will.
The politicians are finally catching up. They're realizing that Bitcoin isn't going away, so they better figure out how to work with it.
Plus, we've got this whole Genius Act working its way through Congress for stablecoin regulation. Finally, some actual clarity instead of regulation by enforcement.
Although, let's be real, stablecoins are just training wheels for Bitcoin adoption. They're getting people comfortable with digital money before they graduate to the real thing.
Exactly. It's like, here's your centralized, printable, freezable digital dollar, and eventually people will be like, wait, why don't I just use Bitcoin instead?
Right. Why hold a digital representation of depreciating fiat money when you can hold actual digital scarcity?
And the best part is watching all these traditional finance institutions trying to build Bitcoin but better and failing spectacularly every single time.
It's like watching people try to improve on water by adding food coloring. Sure, it looks different, but it's still just water. Except now it's worse.
Autumn, since we're talking about the future, let's give our listeners the real alpha on Nostrate.
Yes! Folks, while everyone's arguing about which centralized social media platform censors them less, we're already living in the future with Nostr.
For those who don't know, Nostr is a protocol, not a platform. Think of it like email, but for social media. No CEO, no board of directors, no single point of failure.
And the best part? It's built on Bitcoin Lightning. You can zap content creators directly with sats. No ads, no algorithms, just value for value.
So if you love this show and want to support independent Bitcoin media, head over to the BitcoinStreetJournal.com, set up your free Nostr profile, and start zap.
It takes like 30 seconds and boom, you're part of the uncensorable internet. Plus, you can zap us directly when we drop knowledge bombs like this.
And here's what's beautiful. Nostr doesn't have terms of service or community guidelines. If you don't like what someone posts, you just unfollow them or use a different client.
Personal responsibility? Individual sovereignty? What a concept! It's almost like the same principles that make Bitcoin work also work for social media.
Exactly. While Twitter and Facebook are busy playing content police, Nostr is just working, building, growing, being unstoppable.
All right, Darren, let's get into the crystal ball a bit. What are you seeing for Bitcoin going forward?
Autumn, I've never been more bullish in my entire life. And here's why.
Hit me.
Okay, so we've got institutional adoption accelerating, ETF inflows crushing supply, nation-states starting to compete for Bitcoin adoption, and the halving effects still working through the system.
Right. And don't forget, we're still at less than 2% global adoption. The vast majority of people still don't own any Bitcoin.
Exactly. Some analysts are throwing around numbers like 150,000 to 200,000 by end of 2025. And honestly, that might be conservative.
I mean, if you think about it, we've got 19.9 million Bitcoin mined out of 21 million total, institutional demand going parabolic, and global monetary debasement accelerating.
Right. Every time a central bank prints money, they're making Bitcoin more valuable by comparison. It's like they're doing our marketing for us.
And here's what's crazy. We're not even in a retail FOMO phase yet. This is all institutional money. Wait until regular people start catching on.
Oh man, when your barista starts asking about Bitcoin again, that's when you know we've hit the real euphoria phase.
1 double shot of orange pill, please.
But seriously, folks, if you haven't started your Bitcoin education journey yet, now's the time. Not financial advice, just common sense.
Wait, before we wrap up, we absolutely have to talk about what's happening with the Lightning Network. The scaling solution that everyone said was impossible is now processing real economic activity.
Oh my God, yes! The Lightning Network capacity just hit a new all-time high. We're talking over 5,000 Bitcoin locked in Lightning channels, and that's just the public capacity we can see.
And the adoption is crazy. Companies like Strike, Cash App, and River are all building on Lightning. Even Twitter, X, is using Lightning for their tipping feature.
Right. And here's what's incredible. Lightning transactions are instant and cost basically nothing. We're talking about micropayments that are finally possible. You can send a penny anywhere in the world in under a second.
And the use cases are exploding. Gaming companies are using Lightning for in-game purchases, content creators are getting zapped directly by their audience, and entire economies in places like El Salvador are running on Lightning rails.
Plus, Darren, we've got to talk about how the Bitcoin education ecosystem has exploded. The resources available now versus just a few years ago are night and day. Absolutely. We've got Bitcoin University courses, the MIT Bitcoin courses, Andreas Antonopoulos' masterclasses, and literally thousands of podcasts breaking down everything from the basics to advanced cryptography.
And the books. The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous, The Fiat Standard, Layered Money by Nick Bhatia. There's an entire library of Austrian economics and Bitcoin theory that's accessible to everyone.
Plus, the technical development never stops. We've got Taproot activation enabling smart contracts on Bitcoin, sidechains like Liquid Network for institutional trading, and research into things like Simplicity programming language.
Exactly. And the privacy improvements are incredible too. CoinJoin implementations, Schnorr signatures, making transactions more private and efficient. And tools like Samurai Wallet and Wasabi Wallet giving users real financial privacy.
Autumn, let's also talk about the institutional players that are going all in beyond just ETFs, because some of these companies are making moves that are absolutely wild.
Oh yeah, like Tesla still holding Bitcoin, Square, now Block, continuing to stack sats, and companies like Marathon Digital and Riot Blockchain literally pivoting their entire business models to Bitcoin mining.
Right. And then you've got PayPal and Venmo letting people buy Bitcoin directly in their apps, Fidelity offering Bitcoin 401k options, and even traditional banks like JP Morgan quietly building Bitcoin infrastructure for their clients.
And it's not just El Salvador anymore. The Central African Republic made Bitcoin legal tender, Ukraine is accepting Bitcoin donations for defense, and countries like Switzerland and Singapore are creating Bitcoin-friendly regulatory frameworks.
Plus, we're seeing city-level adoption too. Miami is exploring Bitcoin for city operations. Austin is looking at Bitcoin mining partnerships. And New York City is finally getting Bitcoin ATMs after years of regulatory hostility.
Darren, I have to mention how completely the energy narrative has flipped. Remember when everyone said Bitcoin was going to melt the ice caps?
Oh man, that was peak FUD. Now we've got data showing Bitcoin mining is driving renewable energy development. Companies like Crusoe Energy are using flared gas for mining, turning waste into value.
And the Bitcoin Mining Council data shows that Bitcoin mining is now over 58% sustainable energy. Wind, solar, hydro, Bitcoin miners are literally the best customers for renewable energy projects because they provide guaranteed demand.
Exactly.
And we're seeing incredible projects like volcano mining in El Salvador, hydroelectric mining in Paraguay, solar mining operations in Texas, and even companies exploring fusion energy for Bitcoin mining.
And here's what's really mind-blowing. Bitcoin is starting to function as a global unit of account. Companies are pricing things in Satoshis, countries are measuring their reserves in Bitcoin, and we're seeing the emergence of a true international monetary standard.
Right. And what's crazy is watching traditional finance try to adapt. Banks that spent years calling Bitcoin a scam are now scrambling to offer Bitcoin services before they get left behind entirely.
Exactly. Study Bitcoin, stack sats, and hodl. The future is happening whether you're ready or not.
All right, Autumn, this has been an absolutely incredible episode. We covered institutional FOMO, El Salvador's banking revolution, ETF mania, and the ongoing altcoin circus.
For sure. And through it all, the message is crystal clear. Bitcoin is inevitable.
That's right. It's the apex predator of money, the hardest asset ever created, and the future of human economic coordination.
And remember, folks, this is just the beginning. We're still in the early innings of the greatest monetary revolution in human history.
So, what can our listeners do? Education, accumulation, and self-custody.
Exactly. Learn everything you can about Bitcoin. Dollar cost average into your stack, and for the love of Satoshi, get your coins off exchanges.
Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Say it with me, everyone.
Not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
Beautiful. And don't forget to visit thebitcoinstreetjournal.com to set up your Nostr profile and join the uncensorable social media revolution.
Yes! Zap us, zap your friends, zap random strangers spreading Bitcoin knowledge. Value for value is the future.
And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, smash that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and help us orange peel the world.
Because at the end of the day, we're not just talking about price movements or market caps.
We're talking about the future of human freedom, individual sovereignty, and sound money for everyone.
Bitcoin is hope. Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is inevitable.
And on that note,
see ya on the next block.
See you on the next block.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bitcoin Street Journal Market Update. Keep stacking, keep learning, and keep building the Bitcoin future.
Until next time, may your sats stack high and your keys stay secure. This is the Bitcoin Street Journal, and we'll see you on the next block.